All right, are we ready? Okay, happy Wednesday, KW Southwest, Signature, and Central. Everybody warm and ready to go? All right, I see some thumbs up. Some of you I don't even see. Look, there is no judgment, no makeup, no hair, background in a locked bedroom. Show your faces, join us today. You are not alone. Sip on your coffee, eat your lunch, wherever that is for you. We are just happy that you are here. So welcome, welcome. Nikki and Danielle, we have decided to do our team meeting together. So again, thank you very much. And let's see how today's go. I mean, we just wanted to pivot. We wanted to see every single one of you. And normally we start with a little gratitude, or as we like to call it, a bucket fill. Today is going to be interesting. So I would like to challenge you to unmute yourself. And if there is something or somebody that you are grateful for, maybe a new marriage, new listing, or you still have electricity, divorce, babies, vacation. Is there anything or something that you would like to share, or someone that you are grateful for and you would like to go ahead and unmute yourself? Please go ahead. All right, we have a few of you, so let's go ahead.
This is Suzette. This is Suzette. I'm grateful that we could still be connected despite the inclement weather. But I'm really excited because at the beginning of the year, this past week, I had an open house and I couldn't even put the signs out quick enough where people were calling me. I was trying to put them out and run back to the place. So I got so many exciting leads. And so I think I have at least one contract, possibly two from that one. And then the next day I sat down with a client and did an IVS, showed her a house. So I feel like this is the year, it's going to be our year. And I'm very grateful to everyone and the leadership at Keller Williams. So thank you.
Awesome. Let's give her a high five. All right, Willie.
I'm thankful for another new year, but I'm also thankful that Tequila and I will be grandparent number 2. So our daughter is going to have a son, and any day now. So we're grateful and thankful for that.
Awesome. High five. Love it. Who else?
I'm grateful we got snow. I'm from Missouri, so I'm used to the snow. So it was kind of nice to see snow in Texas. I know it's not normal for Texas because everything shut down in Texas. But yeah, it was nice to see snow for the winter,
awesome.
actually.
High five to Teresa. Two more.
I'm grateful for the snow. I'm grateful for the cold. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm also grateful to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who allowed me to wake up and enjoy it all this week. So excited about what's ahead in real estate.
High five to Pam, and I love your outfit.
Thank you.
All right, last one more.
Morning, Anna.
Hi, Amin. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Long time no see.
That's right. Awesome. Go ahead.
I'm happy for everything, and I'm happy for being in the office today. I wanted to work leech and all that, and nature said no, take time and off and have some family time. Because the real estate is basically like 24/7 job. And people say, no, it's not. Then something is wrong. They're not taking care of the business when they need to be. If somebody calls me at night and say, hey, I need help, we're in a relationship business, I'm going to say, yes, I'm there if I can.
Yeah, awesome. Let's show him some love. All right, good to see you, Amin. All right, we're going to move on and we will give it to Krista, who is going to share some updates with us regarding agent financials. Krista, take it away.
Thank you so much, Yana. I'm so excited. I taught agent financials at 2 of our offices so far, and I have 2 more to go. Last week, we had it scheduled at Southwest, and due to the weather, we postponed it until this coming week. So next week on Thursday, January 30th at Southwest, we are teaching agent financials from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you already registered, you're automatically registered for the new date, and we still have spaces to register. I'm also teaching at Signature on Monday. So Monday, that's January, what date is that? January 27th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You're going to get lunch. You're going to learn how to run your business like a business, how to read a P&L, what different kind of business entities there are out there, and why you would choose one. So I already have registrations for Southwest. A lot of the ALC are coming. I have some brand new agents that are coming. We've gotten great feedback already. If you are interested in registering, watch for the links. They'll be posted on the closed Facebook pages. At Signature, they're sending those out shortly. And you can email me directly if you want. I'm at kales@kw.com. I'll post that in the chat as well. And I really look forward to having as many of you there as possible. Yeah, and just to confirm, the class Agent Financials is next week. So Monday at Signature, Thursday at Southwest in Sugar Land.
Awesome. Thank you, Krista. Appreciate that. I highly, highly recommend, I back her up on that, highly, highly recommend you attend that class. That way you get clarity of how to run your business as a business and not just wing real estate, right? Because that's what we all have a habit of doing. Awesome. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce a gentleman here that's going to pour into us. He is the who's who when it comes to KW. Not only is he a MAPS coach and a BOLD coach, he is also KWU master faculty. I will let him take it away because he is way more instrumental than I am. So the one and only Scott Toombs.
Hey, that was super kind, and I thought you were going to introduce somebody else. So that's good.
Normally, I would use that to introduce myself, but since you're on board, I can't do that. So.
I love that. Hey, Willie, congratulations, man. I'm excited for your second grandchild. That's just absolutely amazing. So super excited to be on here. Hey, number one, again, my name is Scott Toombs. Thank you for the introduction. Just real quickly, let me add to that. I've been with this company since 2005. I launched my first Keller Williams office when I was 34 years old, almost 20 years ago. And to say that Keller Williams has impacted me and my family would be an absolute understatement. So when you hear me talk, you're going to hear a lot of passion. I don't want you to mistake my passion for sales. Okay? I'm here to add value to you today, but you will hear passion. I promise you. But yet I want you to understand that it comes from here. Okay, so I want to add value. That's all I want to do. And then I'll ask you to make some choices for yourself. How many of us, just raise your hand. And by the way, this is going to be super interactive with hand raising. Okay, so Tara, I can see you. So your hand's going to have to go up all the time. Okay, perfect. So how many of you have goals set for 2025? Just raise your hand. Okay, you got a financial goal set for 2025. How many of you have like a health goal for 2025? Maybe some relationship goals, or maybe even a wealth goal, okay? So I'm assuming that everybody's hand went up, that you have some kind of goal set. Now, let's do this again. How many of us have set goals in the past and not reached those goals? Just raise your hand. It's okay. Yep, same here. Me too. I've set lots of goals and I've missed them, and I've set some goals and I've hit them. And yet, we have those goals set. Now, here's what I kind of find interesting. I'm going to share a formula with me that Gary shared when I was 34 years old that I literally write down almost on a weekly basis. It's just 3 words. I want you to write this down. Okay. And by the way, with technology, I can see you not writing. I'm kidding. I know you're not going to write. I know you're going to write. I want you to write down mindset plus action equals outcome. It's mindset plus action equal outcome. Now, what most of us do, and by the way, not a bad thing, most of us go out and focus on the outcome. We set a financial outcome goal. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Beside that formula, I want you to write down what your financial goal is. You're not going to have to share it with anybody, okay? This is for you, but you need to look at it. What is your financial goal? And I want you to be real. Like, what is your financial goal in 2025? Is it $1 million, $1.5 million, 500,000, 100,000, 60,000? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's perfect. But I need you to write it down. Okay. Now that's where we go to. We have this financial goal. We have this goal, this outcome that we're after. But what does the formula say? What has to be different? Well, let me do this. Is anybody's 2024 5 goals less than their actual in 2024? And the answer is no. Nobody said, hey, I hope I make less money this year. I want to put on that weight. That just does not happen. So if we want a different outcome, we have to go back to the formula. And we have to go, okay, how do I need to think and what actions do I need to take? Before we got on this call, I looked this up. And this is why I believe that this formula is so powerful. And if you walk out with nothing today and just implement this and everything in your life, these 3 simple words, it will change the outcome in anything that you focus on. Did you know that only 12% of the population gets out of the income bracket it's born into? 12% of the population gets out of the income bracket it's born into. Does it mean that it doesn't make more money? Inflation has brought money up over time. Now, if that's the case, and we have so many people who desire to have different outcomes, what's not changing? They're not changing the way that they think and the actions that they take. So if we can put the focus on those 2 things, we can create any outcome that we desire. Any outcome we desire. In other words, our habits and what we do daily lead to our outcomes. The way that we think is habitual and the actions that we take are habitual, which lead to our outcome. And to have a different outcome, we have to think and act differently. We have to think and act differently. So the reason why I share that, and I think it's so powerful, is when we look at this formula and we say, okay, well, what does this have to do with BOLD? That's what BOLD has done since 2009. And yet, I want you to hear this from me. Have y'all heard that BOLD is new before? Just shake your head, yes or no. Okay. Now, have we over abused the word BOLD is new in the past? Yes or no? Like we change some page numbers and be like, BOLD's new, just okay. It's funnier when you listen to me do it. Here's the cool thing though. BOLD right now, Onward Bold, the very first word is different to the very last word is different. It is written by Gary Keller. And Gary does 2 things really well in Onward Bold. Number one, if you know Gary at all, go to any of his teaching. He coaches to the whole person. So the 10 bold truths are a guide to life. That goes to the way that we what? Think. Now, once we change our thinking, we can change our actions. And the actions in BOLD has changed. We use the social media ladder that Kent Posick created, which has led him to almost $6 million in GCI in 2024. And we do that in the room. We do the ladder. Every step of BOLD, we will be on social media using it as a platform to go generate leads. We also still do the magic sauce in BOLD and Onward Bold, and that's accountability. How many of y'all love accountability? Raise your hand. Oh, dang. Yeah, I'm not raising mine. I if it was in the supermarket, I probably wouldn't buy it. But I can tell you this, okay? Accountability, to me, if you go look at that outcome number, whatever you change it to, just understand that it's accountability is the difference maker. And it's not accountability to outcome. It's accountability to our thinking and our actions, which lead to an outcome. So it's early 2025. How many of y'all are expecting a great year? Raise your hand. Awesome. I love that. How many of you are going to make it a great year? Raise your hand. Ooh, I like that even better. Here's the question, though, that I want you to write down. Is how many of you are willing to think and do differently than you have in the past to actually have the different outcome? You know what Gary said recently, and I think this is it, and I want to test this out. Do you know in real estate, knowing what to do is not the issue? Do you know that if you Google how to succeed in real estate, it will give you pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages? If you do real estate scripts, Amin, it will give you hundreds and thousands of real estate scripts. I'll give you an example. I'm going to tell you a word. Now, raise your hand if you've never heard of it before, okay? lead generation. And the reality of it is, knowing what to do in our industry is not the challenge. It is the mindset to take the action. And I believe the biggest gap that we have is that we see outcome as a number and not as a why. So do me a favor, you wrote down that number, what you want your outcome to be in 2025. I want you to real quickly in your mind process, what does that number do for me and my family? What kid or grandkid gets to go to college debt-free because I succeeded? What vacations are we going to go on and fly first class? What charity am I going to help because I succeeded? Until you know why that number is important, I'm not sure you'll be able to change our thinking and change our actions to accomplish it. When you do know why, you will be unstoppable. Gary wrote about it in The One Thing. The reason why we so badly set goals and miss so often is because we don't know why the goal was important. I'll give you a great example. And Krista, you're on the screen, so I'm going to ask you to come off mute and just answer a quick question, okay? Now, Krista, I'm sure that you're pretty fast, yes? Like you can run fast-ish?
I can skate fast.
Okay, so Krista, if I paid you $1,000 and I said, hey, if you run as fast as you can this 100-yard dash, I'll give you $1,000. How fast would you run? But you had to run as fast as you could.
Probably not fast enough, but sure.
But the fast as you can, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, and we timed you. And I came back and said, Krista, we're going to do that again. And if you run faster than that time, you're going to pay me $10,000. How do you think you would run?
I had to pay you 10,000.
Yeah, if you beat the time.
If I beat the time, I would have to or not have to.
You would have to pay me if you beat
then I'd go slower.
Yeah. Okay. But see, I would make sure that I won. What I would do is let a tiger out behind you to chase you. When your why you're running changes, you change the way that you run. When your why and you understand the relationship with that goal, the way you do real estate changes. So you got your leadership, which, by the way, I was telling them this, and I'm not kissing Heine. I'm not. I am so excited to be with this group because whether y'all know it because y'all live in it, you're around them every single day, your leadership are all-stars in this company. Okay, I mean, you can go look at the numbers and see it. They are rock stars. And I'm excited and going to ask you to go ahead and make a choice today. And if you don't make it today, I'm going to ask that you make it soon. Is 2025 going to be a repeat of 2024, 2023, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, and all the way back to birth? Or will you make the commitment to come in Onward Bold and let's find out what can be different? There's one promise I make in Bold, and I've done this for the last 10 years. Nobody has done more Bolds than I have. I've launched over 150 Bolds over the last decade. I've had more people in my Bold rooms than any other Bold coach. And I will actually, at the end of Bold, if you come up to me and you said, Scott, I did it all. I did the work. I did the homework. I did the lead generation. And you tell me that you didn't get value out of it, I'll personally write you a $799 check back. We're here to fight for your greatness. The little voice in your head is fighting for your comfort. Be very, very careful who you're rooting for. Any questions? Did I scare you? Am I over attractive? Sometimes I know they throw eye candy up on a screen like me, and I want to make sure y'all hear the value. Nope, nothing.
Scott, we have some questions.
Oh, hit it.
I'm scrolling down.
Oh, you're on the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. We have Sapana. Have you already taught the new Bold?
Have I already done what? Taught it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, taught it 4 times in October. Yeah, that was part of the creation of it. It's outstanding. I had 4 rooms, Indianapolis, where else? Tulsa, Oklahoma, all over the country. I think we had 438 agents. I did go through it in October, and it's outstanding.
And what was the feedback? Do you have
Uh,
any feedback?
Yeah, overwhelmingly amazing. The surveys that I got back, I'm just going to be completely honest. A lot of the fluff is gone. A lot of the chanting, a lot of the things around this. When Gary is very deep, so the 10 bold truths is what Gary's teaching his top 100 masterminds. So it is very, very deep. And then the action is for today. You guys, we used to do social media 15 minutes in 7 weeks. We do social media every single week and we see the outcome immediately. We still talk to our database. We go through a listing and buyer presentations. We give you multiple options of what they look like. This is what Gary said, and this is what hit me. He said, we had to be extremely arrogant to believe that there's only one way to do something. There's not. So the conversations we have, it's not, hey, here's the conversation. It's, hey, here's the 7 conversations. Choose the one that fits you best, the one that you can work with. But what I think is that was the biggest difference, that we heard the response back. And by the way, the numbers were great. I think we averaged a little over 10.1 transactions in 6 weeks per agent. Now, I'll be upfront with you. That means some agents did 0, and we've had some that did 22 and 30. So again, average is a real weird thing because a lot of people go, well, I didn't get 10.1 transactions. Okay, well, did you make as many contacts? Did you put the time and practice in? Did you have a database that person has? This is what we work on in Bold. It's not a one-time thing. It's like going to the gym, right? Like if you go out and work out one time, are you in shape? And the answer is no. You got to go work out every day. And to me, that's why we never get out of this life of Bold. Did that answer the question? And probably too much answer.
Why should I take both this one? Because I took 4 of them last time.
Well, it's a great question. And hear my heart. So I'm not being funny. Did you eat breakfast yesterday?
I eat every day.
Okay. To me, you answered the question. We're never, it's so funny. When I was little, I lived in me and my parents, when I was born, I lived in a single wide trailer in a little town in Cottonwood, Alabama. Okay. To the age of 4. And I didn't realize we were poor. Okay. I didn't. Because, your parents love you. I'm an only child. Look at me. They had me. They were like, nailed it. My parents are 76 now. Their birthdays were yesterday with my dad, 7 days before that. And they sent pictures to me. It's snowing at their house, which is on the beach in Florida that they dreamed about as kids. And both had parents whose parents never made more than $6,000 a year. So why do I believe that we should do this? Is because until we have the outcomes that we desire in our life, it is our responsibility to grow. And if you've never taken what Gary has written, to me, that's enough. Because I know that me by myself can only accomplish so much. Me with others, with accountability, can accomplish almost anything. And by the way, this might not be for everybody. And I'm okay with that. But I'm telling you where I would be. I'd be in that room. Can I share something with you? A lot of people ask, why do you teach Bold? I've created a life of passive income where I get to choose what I want to do with my time. And I choose to do this. But here's the reason why. Is because I never want to be out of it. I feel like I'm getting the greatest cheat code and I get to go around and deliver it. So again, I told you that my passion's a little overwhelming and I'm not weird. I just have lived a life that this company and this program has dramatically changed everything. And I want everybody to have that experience. Sarah, you said it way better than I did, so thank you. Should have just said that river thing. So I hope you're there. I really do. I trust you will be. And by the way, come to the first step. If you're not going to commit to Bold now, come to the first step. Don't register. We want to pour into you. You're going to make choices for yourself. I'm not here to do that for you. what we're here to do is pour into you from the greatest mind in real estate history. Yana, did I go too long? I did.
No, thank you so much, Scott. You know, we are very excited
you.
to have
Thank
you
you.
as our Bold coach. And whenever Danielle, Nikki, and I reviewed the new Bold curriculum, we thought this is a no-brainer. We have to bring Bold back. And we knew that previously the feedback was, well, I already took it and it's the same. Well, now it is not the same. And the material is fantastic. So we are very excited. We will be taking it with you. And thank you so much for your time. And also enjoy South Africa.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye, guys. You have a great one. Appreciate you.
All right. Awesome. Do we have Chad over here?
I'm here.
Just yet?
I'm here.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Chad, so much for joining us. Everyone, I trust that this was helpful, and we wanted to bring Chad as our operating principal to also share a little bit about his vision and what he has planned for us before we hop on to our panel. So, Chad, take it away.
Right, awesome. Yana said I can only go for 5 minutes, so I'll be quick and brief. I trust everyone survived the winter storm, and we're on the tail end of it along the way. And so I'm glad we have technology that can help us to meet this together. A couple of things that I wanted to share with you. One is, as I study market center success, agent success, and all the numbers, it gets down to me to the number one goal is GCI. If we can all increase our GCI, right, everyone wins. And any struggles that we have right now in paying our bills or wherever you're on the journey is a GCI issue, right? We have a revenue challenge. And the revenue challenge to me is the one thing that we can do to produce more revenue is to go get listings. Now, we can always say that, you know, listings, leads, and leverage is a fundamental thing but we got to be so hyper-focused on listings right now and everything that we do to go about it. So, yeah, thank you. Your GCI is your gross commission income. That's the revenue you produce. That's the one thing that I always focus on is where are we in revenue? It'll solve all problems. What drives revenue? And that is listings. And what's going to drive listings is a way that we go back to tracking lead generations. So quick story for you. You might have heard this before. You can roll your eyes if you know this. Is I love to listen to Business Wars. Business Wars is a podcast that focuses on other businesses. And one of my favorite over time, right, is a business war that talked about the weight loss industry. And the weight loss industry, there's one company that's been the leader for the last 40 years. What's that company? Anybody know it?
Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers, by far, number one is the number one doing it. And Weight Watchers was started by an obese woman, right, who had a challenge. And she started in New York, and she just did it because she wanted to help other people's. And she did it in her apartment complex. And she met her in her apartment. And she had two things that were fundamental. Number one is, if you've been in Weight Watchers, what's the first thing you got to do every week? That's a question. You got to weigh in. Yep. We got to know the numbers. That's so fundamental in our business too, is we got to look at the scoreboard and we got to weigh the numbers because the numbers don't lie and the numbers tell the story. And then the second part of Weight Watchers that made them so fundamentally is you have to collaborate and share. So if you've ever been in a Weight Watchers meeting, right, is you weigh and then you come in and people share success or collaborate on where they struggled and why they went about it. And here's been a company that's had major success for all these years. Others will come along and say, hey, take this magical pill, right? Or get this shot or eat this and you'll lose weight in no time. And we know, right, this is an E to P, entrepreneur to purposeful. For us to break through on GCI or listings, we're going to have to get so purposeful on our activities and have a goal and our plans written out. That's why I love Bold, right? Scott Toombs is one of the best in the industry, is we got to look at those numbers and we got to have high accountability and the collaboration. So you go, yeah, Chad, Bold takes $7.99. I'm like, you're going to invest $800. The reason we say $7.99 is you got to show up with some skin in the game. If we offer it free, you don't take advantage of it. We've had a free Bold in our class and everybody just hung out. You weren't committed to it. So the two things I want to leave you with is, right, at the end of the day, it's the GCI number. And we sometimes celebrate that number, and it's such a lag measure that we got to go focus on the activities, right? We got to go focus on the strategies that you have so we can get really purposeful to drive that number. That's all that matters. I don't know about you. I was down last year in revenue in my household. I was down. It was tough. It's the same, everything that we work on. So my challenge to you is get accountable, get a plan, step on the scale every single day in your business. Be very transparent with your numbers. That's why we ask the ALCs to be transparent with their numbers. And then number two is get in a group where you can collaborate and share and bring awareness. And if that's bold, that's great. That's a vehicle I take advantage of. If you need to do it in another vehicle, if it's your PC coach, if it's any other place it can be that you can create an environment of accountability, take advantage of it. I'm here to help you in any possible way. I'm excited to the direction we're going with the Market Center. I love how people show up even on a weather day and showed up online to pour in yourself and keep learning. And let's go get some listings. May there be Keller Williams signs, especially with the 4 market centers that I represent. The 4 market center signs, may there be a KW sign in there. Great. Thanks, Yana.
Thank you, Chad. That was awesome. Okay, so with that being said, we actually have 3 amazing agents that have attended Bold, and we had invited them to speak to all of you. And so I would ask for Tara and Willie and Yvonne to unmute themselves. And real quickly, why don't you just say a little bit about yourself, like literally seconds. There's only 3, so it shouldn't be too much of overlapping and talking at the moment. So Tara,
okay.
why don't you go
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay.
So I am in my 11th year of real estate. I haven't been on my own the whole time, but I'm in my 11th year, and I've taken Bold. I think I take it at least once a year. So this will be my 10th time to take Bold.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, Yvonne.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yvonne. I started real estate in 2019, dual career. So I was a teacher. I didn't start full time until 2022, and I have taken Bold as well. What else?
And you have a team, right?
I have an admin showing assistant. Yes.
Awesome. And she's on ALC.
Oh, I'm in my 3rd year.
You're on ALC too, right? I believe y'all both are. Okay. Willie.
How you doing? I'm Willie Adolph. I'm at the Signature office. I've been, as I said, a legal agent for 4 years since 2019, but I've been in the industry since 2002. When I joined Keller Williams in 2021, my business was coming from a mom and pop shop boutique, and I've been doing Bold. Well, we're here 4 years now, so we did Bold 3 years, 3 of the 4 years, and it's been tremendous help.
Awesome. Okay, so Willie, since you're the last to talk, let me ask you, how has attending Bold more than once shaped your mindset, and not just your business, but in your professional life?
So when you first get in, it's just like I felt like a new agent because so much information was thrown at you, and it's trying to dissect everything, and then next thing you want to do is do everything, and it's kind of tough. And I was always told, it's just like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we had to kind of go in and say, how can my business grow? Where can I grow from here? And the first thing it says, I have to change myself if I want to see anything else change. So my mindset had to change first on stop saying what I can't do and say that I can do it. And every failure is just a learning stepping stone.
I love that. So you really it learned you how to really focus on self-leadership is what I'm hearing from you.
Correct.
That's awesome. Yvonne, how about you? How has Bold shaped your mindset, either in your professional or business life?
I would agree with Willie. I think the emphasis on mindset, accountability, goal setting, it helps create habits to promote discipline and growth. For sure, beyond real estate, your personal, everything. So I think that becomes something that you become intentional in your daily decisions on how to improve time management, relationships, and overall just your life balance to make sure that everything is growing.
Cool. Tara, I want to ask you a different question. So, what would you say has been the biggest aha moment or breakthrough that you've experienced during Bold that changed the way you approach your real estate business? And for those of you who haven't worked with me before, when I say aha, I always say it's agents helping agents. So really listen up to what she says. Okay, Tara.
So I've taken it so many times. There's so many great things about it. I've actually taken it with Willie before. We were on the same team.
Cool.
Remember that, Willie? So I think that for me, it was conversion for me. I figured out, I really wanted to be a listing agent. So I focused on listings, getting the listings. Of course, they teach you how to get the listings, the conversations you need to have, the lead gen, setting up your database, feeding your database, nurturing your database, growing your database, all those things. But I think I came to a point in my business where I was getting the appointments. Great, I got the appointment, but I wasn't converting the appointment. So I figured out that I was getting these appointments. I wasn't converting these listings. I would go on 9 listing appointments and maybe get 2. I just got to the point where I wasn't converting. So it helped me figure out those listing presentation and how to get that. Actually, I took it a long time ago with Scott Prescott, and he was amazing and really taught a good listing presentation class. So I took that and I started teaching the Market Center. So I've been teaching the Market Center every year, once a month, the listing presentation class. And I started converting these these presentations into clients. So
I love
that was a big aha for me.
I love that aha, because one, you found the gap, right, that you wanted to grow, and you really honed in on what is that gap and harnessing everything you had to kind of build it to help your business. And then you also understood that you took it outside of Bold and went to a class to add that. And John Prescott is amazing. And then you taught it. So, and then it's not just teaching once, right? Because you grow and you grow, and every time you teach it, you implement something for yourself and you give something to the agents as well, which is also, I know that y'all are a team, helps you develop your leadership skills as you build your own team as well. So you really magnified that. Yvonne, how about you? What is an aha moment or breakthrough that you experienced during Bold that changed the way that you approach your real estate business?
Sure. So I think I can relate to more the newer agent or the more rookie agents, if you will. When I took Bold, I really learned that lead generation was a cornerstone of a thriving business. Like, that's it. So when I learned that quickly, I had to make sure that I understood what my top 3 lead generation systems were, so that I can put those into place to create that production. So I think that success is predictable based on whatever actions you're taking to get there. So I think that for me was becoming more intentional on what actions I was taking to create that lead generation that was the best for me.
That's awesome. I love that. Willie, when it comes to you, can you share a specific Bold law that resonated with you and how it's impact your daily habits? And it could be the one that's behind you, or it could be something different.
No, it's actually the one that's behind me. It's what you focus on expands. And that is so true, because a lot of times people feel like you're successful, nothing ever bad happens to you. And life hits you sometimes when you first wake up before you go to bed. And if you focus on what's going wrong, everything that's wrong will expand with it. But you're human. Everybody, we got to go through, we have to go through the pain to get through everything else. So that's where the growth was. And that's what kind of helps me, is that, yes, I'm human. Things go wrong. I may fuss, cuss, be mad for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, but then I can't hold on to that, because if I can change it, then there's a lot of stuff I would change. I would change who won the lottery last night. So I can't change what happened.
It would be me, right?
Right. So I kind of focus on when I wake up in the morning, I do have routines that I do. And I do my best to attend on practice on what I preach. And I also expand that to my team and to other agents that I teach.
It's great. Yvonne, I want to come back to you. So I'm going to ask you, because we have to know our numbers, right? So in order for us to grow, it's vital, whether you're a new agent or a tenured agent, for us to know our numbers. So what measurable results did you see in your business after completing Bold? Like, for example, your GCI or your client database or lead generation improved. What was that for you?
I'm glad you asked this question because it was great. So my closed volume grew by 97%,
Whoa.
and my
Say that again.
GCI grew by
That's
133%.
97% and 133% right after you took Bold.
Yep.
That is
That was the
amazing.
same
Okay.
year that the growth happened. And Nikki can vouch for that because she was in the office at that time. But yeah, it was very, very drastic growth. And I say it comes back to that, the accountability piece that Bold gave us. I think for me, it was, you didn't ask me this question, but mine was come from contribution. And it was so good to be in a room of people with all types of businesses, whether they were beginning or they were seasoned agents that were coming from places of contribution to mastermind and share and collaborate. And that's where Chad was touching base on, get in a group that's going to hold you accountable. Because yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing to come to the table that week and say I had 0, 0, 0. And for those of you that have taken Bold, you know what I'm talking about. And so it makes you change really quickly to say, I'm not going to go back and report that. Same like for if you're in ALC, if you're not in any of those groups, get within a group that's going to hold you accountable, because essentially that's what led to my growth from becoming a, $6 million producer to a mega agent in just a year. So I think that getting uncomfortable is going to give you those results.
I love that. And though I didn't ask you that question, I love the way that you made us lead into the next one, right? Because to get your numbers, we can't do it on our own. It's just like if I go to the gym every single day, and yes, I need to go to the gym this year, and I do it myself, I'm always going to go just enough until it hurts and stops, right? Just enough. But if I have someone there with me, right, who's encouraging me to go more, if I'm seeing them, then I want to go a little bit past that pain. And then I'm going to get a new pain, right? And we grow and grow. So you're absolutely right. Accountability is so critical to any goal that we have for ourselves. So Tara, with that being said, how has accountability structure in Bold helped you stay consistent and productive, even in the challenging markets? Because we are definitely going into, and we kind of have been in a challenging market, just in a different way, right?
So I don't know, they've structured it kind of differently every time. Maybe it's 20 contacts a week or a day still, I'm not sure. But I've been able to do, I call it a perfect calendar or time block calendar, where I have it structured. My day is structured. I know exactly what I need to do for my 411, my monthly 411. I structured on my day and I time block. I've got to get that lead generation out of the way from 9 to 11. Anything past 11, I'm going on appointments or doing all that. And I've structured it down to my contacts and what it takes to get an appointment. And then I need to have at least one listing appointment a week, or at least one appointment a week, whether it's a builder, a coffee date, whatever it is. I need to have that so that the business is still growing.
Awesome. No, so let me ask you this question. I love that you are, basically you say, if it's on your calendar, it doesn't exist, right? And then you live by your calendar. So you said something that your goal is to get one appointment a week. So what happens to your calendar if you don't have that appointment, say by Thursday?
Then I have to get 2 appointments next week. Or, I really, really want the one listing appointment a week. That's what I'm really shooting for. If that doesn't happen, then say I meet a local vendor and I say, hey, or a local, a roofer or whatever for coffee, just so that we can have that interaction. It's a referral appointment. We're getting to know each other better, and he can refer me business within my community. Just something like that to make sure that it keeps growing. But I really, really am going for that one listing appointment.
Good. I love that. And that also goes into our focus for this year, right? To focus on listings. So Willie, how did Bold teach you to re-engage with your database in a really meaningful way? And how were the results of those efforts?
So Bold actually taught me that I have more business than I thought I had. It actually made me go re-engage with a lot of my contacts from years ago. Bold helped me how to re-engage, because from time to time you're like, well, I haven't talked to them in 2-3 years, and now I'm going to call them and ask for a business. Well, that's not what you're doing. You're actually just going in there and asking for a favor and just kind of reestablishing some of those relationships. And it has helped me, and it helped me to be able to help others do the same as well. So when I look at my relationships, my database, I'm actually now reaching out purposefully and intentionally. It's not always about who you know that's buying or sell real estate. It's, hey, how you doing? Or, checking on like it is past with the freeze. Just calling and saying, hey, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do? In the back of your mind, you might be saying, please don't say yes, please don't say yes, because I don't want to be in that ice either. But at the same time, it's just knowing that you care and reaching out to them and just saying hello. It's not that you always want something. It's just showing gratitude for the business that they gave you and referred to you.
I love that. And yes, Houston's nature sure has given us a lot of opportunity to re-engage with our database in very natural, really caring ways. So let me ask you, Yvonne, what strategies have helped you improve your lead generation, whether through its social media, open houses, events?
Yes. So for those of you that are sitting on this call that maybe you're like, well, I don't have that yet. I'm newer. It doesn't have to be very expensive. The simple things that Bold teaches you, like handwritten notes, goes a long, long way. I started implementing that into my business where I would send anniversary cards, birthday cards, which, believe it or not, so many agents don't do that. And that touch alone was powerful. Imagine, anything you receive handwritten it's meaningful versus a $5 gift card or whatever you can. So don't always categorize this with having to spend so much on these items. Think of it as the small things, handwritten notes, calls, like Willie was talking about. I started, now that once I saw the growth in my business, I started focusing on client events. I do a giveaway per month and 4 client events a year. Those are my touches, that how I lead generate. And I learned that from Bold because I knew that cold calling was not my thing. I learned that door knocking was not my thing. But I knew that I love to be in front of people and be belly to belly because I knew that that's how they were going to see me in my best form. So I think that's how I started engaging more with my database. To now we do over 36 touches with our database every year. And it's something that we plan on a monthly basis that's cost effective and time effective. So it is possible.
Awesome. I love that so much, that Bold not only showed you what is possible, but it really harnessed your focus away from what is not in what didn't fit you, right? So you were still able to be you and grow your business, just more what it sounds like, with intentionality and with a system that was provable for you. And then you were able to grow from that. So Tara, how did Bold help you build your personal brand or refine it? Because I know beforehand you were on a team, right? You and your husband, and then you were off and did your own thing, right? And then you were attending Bold, and now look at you guys. Like, I remember I was in Florida, I was looking, I was like, God, guys, y'all are just killing it. I love that.
Thank you. I'm going to say, I'm kind of going to spin off of Yvonne. We kind of did the same thing. We really focused on our community. And so I got an idea from, it's probably Bold, where they started a group in their community. It's just a free group. It's just, hey, this is a group. And everybody started joining the group, something that we love, which is food. So that kind of grew into something. And we were able to do micro events. We just did an event. It was free. We said, hey, let's meet at the park. Everybody bring a dish, meet at the park, and we're going to have this foodie thing. I got business from that last year. So I think within my own community, people look at me as a resource for help or whatever they need. And I kind of threw myself out like that. Like, if you need help, I am here to help you. Whatever it is, I am in your community and I'm here to help you. And it's free. It didn't cost me any money. It's just
That's
offering
so
help. I had a neighbor reach out to me on her own. She was, she lives on her own. I didn't even know who she was. She lives a couple doors down from me. And she said, can you help me if my water gets turned off? And I said, or can you help me turn off my water if I need it? And I said, of course. She said, I live alone. I'm disabled. And my daughter lives in Greatwood. I said, sure, I'm here for you. So just things like that. I think we really grew our brand through our community.
That's good. So then you took what was in the MREA and Bold when it says gain mind share, right? And so you did that, and you gave it by doing value. Okay, so we're going to start wrapping up. And so I'm going to ask I'm going to say this. I'm not going to ask you, just pop on out, but Willie, I'll start with you. These last 2 questions. Willie, for agents who are on the fence about signing up for Bold again, right? So then when Scott was talking, there were a couple of people that said, why should I do it again? I've done it before, or I've never done it, or whatever the monkeys, as we used to say, on our back, right, is saying to us not to do it. What would you say to them, the value of the program and what they should expect to gain? And we'll start with you, and whoever wants to jump in afterwards can.
Well, okay, so I feel that if you're on the fence and you're like, I've already taken it before, it's almost like reading a book, watching a movie. You're not going to remember everything about what was going on. And as you're going in, you're going to pick up something new each time. Because when you leave with one thing and you go ahead and you start implementing that one thing, then when you go back, there's another thing, you'd be like, oh man, I didn't even hear this one. Because there's so much stuff and so much value that they have in the classes that you're not going to be able to absorb everything. And for, you know, the newer agents that haven't taken it, this is something that I push accountability. You know, that's the one thing that a lot of us, even our seasoned agents, are afraid of. We always have an excuse or a reason of, oh, well, you know, I should not, could not have it. Well, if somebody is really holding you accountable, you know, you're going to step up. So if that's what you're truly looking for accountability, Bold is going to be there, because you're going to have to answer to your peers in front of everybody in that class. And if you don't succeed, it's not that you fail, you just have to learn it a different way.
I love that. Anyone else want to add to it? Yvonne, Tara?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Willie. I think it's just think of it as an investment in yourself. Number one, the accountability piece is huge. Number two, it's your opportunity for newer agents to be in a room with people that are like-minded, to get in a room full of people that are going to collaborate and mastermind. The mastermind alone in Bold is wonderful. I've made connections with people that I thought I never would, and I wouldn't have if it wasn't for Bold. So that was pretty amazing. I know for us, it's not just your office, it's several offices, and you don't know that you can pick up a referral agent that's sitting on the table next to you because they work in Katy and I work in the Northeast area. So there is so much opportunity just from that, on top of obviously Bold itself. You know, I think that it's just a fulfilling gaining experience throughout, and more than anything, it's a time to grow and to get uncomfortable. And you're not doing it alone. So if other people around you are doing it, then we can all get uncomfortable together.
I love that. Tara, do you want to add anything?
Yes, I will say, you know, Danielle, you touched on it. You go to the gym, it's coaching. You go to the gym, you only push yourself so far, and you're like, okay, I give up. You're only going to grow so much with that. But with a coach, these wonderful Bold coaches that come into you and they dig down with you in your business, and they are there. This is coaching. I feel like you always have to have some sort of coaching. And this is a perfect opportunity for not a lot of money to get that coaching. You are investing in your business.
You know, someone told me a long time ago, when I was one of those people that was on the fence about going, I was like, oh, I've attended but before. And I realized that at that moment, I was just frustrated about something else. And I was letting that energy make a decision for my future, right? So there was a little bit of EQ that I had to grow up in. But I remember someone said, well, do you remember, and I've said this before, a memory verse that you used to recite at church or whatever when you were young? I was like, yeah. And he's like, have you ever kept on reciting that before? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, every time you do, it's because you showed up differently. And you pulled something from that same verse at a different stage in your life. And a lot of times we forget that in real estate, it's a journey, right? So we were new agents, and then we were kind of like we finally capped, and then we're going to get a team, and then we're going to build a team and do expansions, go on and on and on. Every one of those steps, we can't retain all the great stuff that Willie and all of y'all were talking about because it's not pertinent to us at the time. So we have to go back to get the new stuff that's relevant to us right now to get to that next journey of our real estate career and our personal lives, right? If I was a new agent and learned all about building teams, I'll be like, oh, I don't know what it doesn't help, right? So I love that. So thank y'all for sharing. Yana, do you have any last minute? I know that we have a minute left. So I'll let you close out for us. And thank you guys for sharing and bringing value. And I'm sure you've made some referral partners today as well. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys at Bold.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Danielle.
All right,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Before we wrap it up, I would like to get some feedback. What if we would do this once a quarter? Like we maybe get together and we can cover a variety of topics and we pivot to Zoom only for all of the market centers. If this is something that you would be open to and you believe that you would benefit from, why don't you raise your hand or comment below so that way we get some feel if this is something that like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah,
Let's
you
make
got
some
my
friends,
vote.
referral partners, and let's learn from one another. And we can also be intentional about having guest speakers. Okay, fantastic. Really good feedback. Well, again, I know it's cold. I know that many of you are still in bed. I can see you even though your camera is not on.
Hey,
Thank you
Yana,
so much for joining us. Yes,
can I
Krista.
share the reimbursement guidelines before we finish up? I figured this would be the perfect way to wrap up. Okay, so our offices believe so deeply in what Bold can do for all of our agents. So when you take Bold, the average, at least the average used to be 8 transactions coming out of Bold, because you're held accountable to make 100 contacts a week. If you do the work, you're going to get the contracts, right? So we believe that you're going to get those contracts. If you are not capped, 30% of that's going to the office, but 70% is yours. Okay, so you're taking away that. However, we will also credit you back $200 per transaction that you generate from Bold. In order to qualify, it has to be executed during Bold. So if you're on the listing side, you have to have a listing agreement signed during Bold. If you're on the buyer side, your executed contract has to be dated during Bold. We even sweeten the deal further. If you sign up today, we start the clock today. So I have agents that signed up for Bold a couple of days ago. They knew they had a contract coming up. That contract's going to count for reimbursement. It's $200 per closing. And then you email the MCA the month you have the closing, and we put a credit on your monthly agent bill for $200 up to 4. We pay you to take Bold. I've actually been through this many, many years, and we've had agents that have done this every year, and they take Bold for free every time.
Just to let you know, you can talk to your team, to your leadership group for more details. Thank you, Krista, for sharing. With Houston Central, we'll be sending out some more detailed information, like a Q&A. I already see some questions popping up in the chat. I love this because that shows me that you're kind of like, maybe I will. So I love that, but we'll kind of give more details at our respective market centers.
Okay, if that's it, then DJ Nimash will close us out with some music. Thank you so much for joining us. Be safe driving to the market centers, and we will see you soon. Be bold.